Well, hi, hey, hello everyone. I am here to do a little video called the Booktube End Game Tag. So this was created by Strip Cover Lit. I was watching their video. I watched Todd the Librarian, and from his, I was watching Steve Donahue's. I had seen the movie Endgame not too long ago. These questions are very interesting, and they also bring up two of my favorite books, but an unpopular opinion is that the second one I think is a lot better than the first series. So let's get on with the tag. So I'm trying to remember them because I don't have them written down, and I just did this tag and the fucking audio is shit, so let's move on. Let me get my anger out and just keep going with the day. So, the first question is paperback or hardback? So I definitely own a lot more paperback. I feel that it's just easier to carry around. Todd mentioned that it's obviously more durable, which obviously it is. But just with the way things are going, I just don't have it in me to carry around a hard, heavy book. I would love to. I would love to have more hardbacks because my favorite books, I would like to have them as both paper and hardback. And one day, maybe when I have more space and more money, I will definitely have more hardbacks. But for now, I have to give it the paperback. Number two is... So number two is science fiction or fantasy, and I have to say I'm probably gravitating more towards science fiction. So I recently read Midworld, which is about a planet of forests, basically. It was really good. It's an older book, but you have like this kind of tribe that lives in harmony like with this planet, and so, and then there's Cinder, which is a futuristic retelling of Cinderella. She is a cyborg. She lives in New Beijing, and they have like port screens and like spaceships and all that other stuff. And then, of course, there is my absolute favorite book of all time, which has a televised event the whole nation watches on huge screens, and hovercrafts and advanced medicines and all that other stuff. I do enjoy fantasy, but sometimes I think I actually enjoy writing it a little bit more. Poetry or prose? I definitely write poetry a lot more than I read it. I do enjoy spoken word poetry. I love lyrics, if you want to count lyrics as poetry. And if we were counting that kind of thing, poetry and prose could, stand side by side for me. But I mainly am a book reader, so I probably have to give it to prose. Hemingway or Fitzgerald? So I have not read anything from either one of them. Hemingway or Fitzgerald. So I looked up on YouTube some short stories, and like I said, I don't know a whole lot about either one of them, but I can see myself perhaps reading either one of their works. They seem worth checking out, and perhaps one day I can answer a question like this a little bit better. 5 is fiction or nonfiction. And definitely fiction. I love, the idea of creating worlds and, building your own world, creating a person with thoughts and ideas and all that. And it's like You just get to be this creator with fiction. There's interesting nonfiction too, but I just feel like I get a lot of information from different people and stuff. But right now I'm reading, I can't honestly remember what the name is, but it's about Egyptian gods. And I know I'm gonna remember what it is right after I'm done with this stupid thing here. Not that the tag is stupid, it's just my stupid thoughts. But yeah, definitely fiction. I want to read more nonfiction, but I love my stories. Number 6 is where this is going to take a while. Just because there's so much to say about both of them. And number 6 is Harry Potter or the Hunger Games. And I think I'm in the minority that actually likes the Hunger Games better than Harry Potter. So Steve brought up things about privilege and slavery and stuff. So Harry Potter. Harry's life kind of sucked. And even after finding out he's a wizard, it still sucks in a lot of ways. He's treated like crap by his aunt and uncle for things that, this poor kid really had no control over. Like when the book starts, the kid is turning 11. But he does come from a middle or upper middle class family. He gets to go to a school. He does have certain privileges. Whereas this book, not only do we have the death of children on live television, but these children live in extreme poverty. Our main protagonist lives in the poorest part of her country, where she has to secretly hunt, because of course this is a dystopian, so being armed is illegal. Hunting is illegal. And there's so much in here. And once you look past the idea of kids killing each other on TV, you realize there's a lot more symbolism in here than you thought. And Adrian and Dalton did a great breakdown of this. Also, Rhiannon from Crescent Moon Reads did a read along, and people brought up a lot of things that I just never really thought about. Such as the fact that, so in here, each district is responsible for like a certain kind of like industry, I guess you would say, and all their goods go to the rich people. So Katniss's district, she is the coal mining district, but somebody pointed out that her friend Rue, who is from the agricultural district, Rue and a lot of people like her, oh my god, a lot of people in her district, they live, agricultural district, they are treated very harshly, sometimes publicly whipped and even executed for the smallest things, and majority of them are described as African American. So not only is this book here talking about income inequality, how the government uses things such as money to divide people, to keep one angry and another set very ignorant to the world around them. But this might have, symbolisms of slavery in it. And even racial prejudice, I guess, because, Katniss talks about her mom being from the merchant class, who are about as rich as you can get in District 12. And, they are described as, blue-eyed, fair-skinned, whereas, coal miners and stuff who live in the poorer part of the seam, or like Katniss, are described as olive-skinned and dark-haired and gray-eyed. And so that's just the thing. Is this book talking about slavery? is Katniss mixed race? Is her and Peeta an interracial relationship? Just so much going on. But I'm going to read you a couple of passages from both books. I love both, but I feel that Harry Potter just didn't have as much to make you think on those kind of societal levels. So, where is it? I'm going to read you from Harry Potter. Quidditch accidents seem to happen to them, that although people rarely died playing Quidditch, referees had been known to vanish and turn up months later in the Sahara Desert. Hermione had become a bit more relaxed about breaking rules since Harry and Ron had saved her from the mountain troll. She was much nicer for it. So, yeah, there's a scene in there where she's like in the bathroom, and this gigantic troll is like coming after her, and they save her. And this book, it's a lot of fun. The movie's a lot of fun. It's cute. But here's something a little bit more serious. Now can you think what the mirror of Erised shows us all? Harry shook his head. Let me explain. The happiest man on earth would be able to use the mirror of Erised like a normal mirror. That is, he would look into it and see himself exactly as he is. Does that help? Harry thought. Then he said slowly, it shows us what we want, whatever we want. Yes and no, said Dumbledore quietly. It shows us nothing more or less than the deepest, most desperate desires of our hearts. You who have never known your family see them standing around you. Then on the next page, because I'm kind of going back and forth there. And I ask you not to go looking for it again. If you ever do run across it, you will now be prepared. It does not do to do. What does it say? It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Remember that. I would have read more clearly, but I was distracted by a kitty. So there's good stuff in Harry Potter. There's really good stuff in there. But I think this one is a little bit more deeper and serious. Though again, love Harry Potter. I watch as Gale pulls a knife out and slices the bread. He could be my brother, straight black hair, olive skin. We even have the same gray eyes, but we're not related, at least not closely. Most of the families who work in the mines resemble one another in this way. That is why my mother and Prim, with their light hair and blue eyes, always look out of place. They are. My mother's parents were part of a small merchant class that catered to officials, peacekeepers, and occasional seam customers. They ran an apothecary shop in the nicer part of District 12. Since almost no one can afford doctors, apothecaries are our healers. My father got to know my mother because on his hunts he would sometimes collect medicinal herbs and sell them to her shop to be brewed into remedies. She must have really loved him to leave her home for the seam. I try to remember that when all I can see is a woman who sat by blank and unreachable, while her children turned to skin and bones. I try to forgive her for my father's sake, but to be honest, I'm not the forgiving type. That's some heavy crap for, YA. "60 seconds. That's how long we're required to stand on our metal circles before the sound of a gong releases us. Step off before the minute is up, and landmines blow your legs off." It's kind of questionable sometimes how this got classified as YA. 60 seconds to take in the ring of tributes, all equidistant from the cornucopia. A giant golden horn shaped like a cone, with a curved tail, the mouth of which is at least 20 feet high, spilling with the things that will give us life here in the arena. Food, containers of water, medicine, garments, fire starters. Their value decreasing the farther they are from the horn. I sprint in 20 yards to retrieve a bright orange backpack that could hold anything because I can't stand leaving with virtually nothing. A boy, I think, from District 12 reaches the pack the same time I do, and for a brief time we grapple for it. Then he coughs, splattering my face with blood. I stagger back, repulsed by the warm, sticky spray. Then the boy slips to the ground. That's when I see the knife in his back. Yes, the girl from District 12, 10 yards away, running towards me, one hand clutching a half-dozen knives. I've seen her thorough in training. She never misses, and I'm her next target. All the general fear I've been feeling condenses into an immediate fear of this girl, this predator who might kill me in seconds. So, yeah, I definitely like that one much better. Although Harry Potter is definitely worth reading, I just find a lot more value in the other book. The next one is classics or modern. I have to go modern. I have not read a lot of classics. And again, I like contemporary and stuff, and I like things that kind of deal with more real life issues, which, I mean, obviously years ago, a lot of the classics did, and obviously they have great value, but I don't know, I think maybe I have a, closer connection to, obviously, things happening now. Reading or writing? Now this has to be the goddamn hardest one of these questions, because I love both, but I find little time to do both. I find very little time to do writing. Right now, I probably do a lot more reading than writing. Unlimited reading time, but you can't pick the book, or 1 hour daily reading time, and you get to pick the book of your choice. I'm going to have to go with the second one. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time, so 1 hour a day guaranteed is perfect. That's enough for me. An hour is better than no reading, and I get to pick the book, so I'm going to go with the second one. Last one is Adrian or Dalton, and I enjoy the channel, period. I like you guys both, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.